Hello everyone, welcome again to another Ableton Live tutorial. My name is Michael and I go by the name Radio Moon, and today we're going to be talking about an awesome feature in Ableton Live called MIDI Capture, which is going to allow you to recall any performance that you do on a MIDI track even when you're not recording. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Alright, so here we have another Ableton Live session. I'm using Ableton 11, and so MIDI Capture, what it allows you to do is, like I said, recall any MIDI performance that you were just doing, even if you weren't recording. And so how it works is Ableton is always sort of listening to any MIDI data that you are inputting into the program. And so it can, with one click of a button, it can recall that last performance. And so a couple things to remember. MIDI Capture has a lot of upsides, it has some downsides too, but I think it's going to be a great tool for when you're just like starting out a project and you just want to start like implementing ideas and trying things out, and you don't have to feel pressured about having to have everything recorded in there. And so it allows you some flexibility. So the first thing that we need to understand is that it's only going to work on MIDI channels, and it's only going to work on channels that you have already record enabled, and that is indicated by this small red box down here and each track. So I already have a piano patch loaded, and the cool thing is it's going to work both in session and arrangement view. So this is session view, and it doesn't even, you don't even need to have the project playing in order for MIDI Capture to work. So you can be playing it, or you can just be like messing around and then just recall that last performance. So the cool thing is when I'm starting to play and I haven't really established a tempo, Ableton's going to try to guess the tempo at which I'm playing in too. So I'm just going to play just a regular chord, melody, whatever. Alright, nice and simple. Alright, so in order to recall that last performance, all I have to do is go up to the top of the transport and hit this little square outline button here. And so that just recalled my last performance. And you see it tried to guess the tempo. It was at 100.5 or around 100 BPM. So then I can take this clip and further edit it and do whatever I want with it. But as you noticed, I was not playing, I was not recording. All I did was just play it right in and then just hit capture, and it pulled up this last performance. So I'm going to switch things over to the arrangement view and show you a couple more things about MIDI Capture that I think are really nice. So like I was said before, it's a great tool to use when you're just sort of trying to lay things in, just starting out and trying to figure out what works. And so I have like a little drum loop here, and I'm just gonna, play around with it with the piano on top of the drum loop and try to figure out an idea, and then I can just capture it when I feel like that's the part I want to use. So now I can hit play. A little fast, I'm gonna slow it down. Alright, let's say I just want to use that melody. So that kind of was at the end. So you notice it only showed that last note, but actually inside the clip, there's going to be the entire performance. It just tries to figure out like when you might want to use that. And since it was in a loop, it just was like, oh, you played right here last. And so it just tried to say that. But always check inside your clip to see what it all captured for you. So then we can just drag this, whoops, right where we want it. It's a little bit off, so we'll just adjust it. Cool. So you can do some further edits and tweaks to that if you want, just showing you how that works. Another thing that we can do so this applies to anything that sends MIDI data, a sampler, a synth, just pretty much limitless potential when it comes to this. Anything that you have on a MIDI channel that can be triggered by a MIDI note, you're going to be allowed to capture it. So I have this drum rack set up too, and it's also going to be able to work in like an overdubbing situation where you can add things in to existing clips and just kind of build up your layers that way. So like I said, I kind of have this drum and now I have this piano going too. And let's say I want to add some hi-hats in there, like a little hi-hat pattern. And again, I have record enabled so I can play it and I can listen to it, but I'm not going to hit record up here. And we're just going to play around on the track just with some simple hi-hats here. Alright, so all I have to do is hit capture, and you can see that last hi-hat performance was just added right into that clip. And I didn't even have to hit record, and now it's just... great. Alright, so like I said, there's a lot of great uses and advantages to using the MIDI Capture tool. And there are some downsides. I think the one thing you have to always remember is when Ableton is going to stop listening to like something that you just previously played so that you are sure it is going to be able to be captured. So if we start over here in like a blank space and I hit play and oops, we gotta have that channel record enabled. So I hit play. So I hit stop, and now I hit play again. And if I hit more notes, if I try to recall that, it's only going to recall those last notes that I played, not the sequence that I played before. So you have to just kind of get into the habit of, as soon as you have an idea that you want to use, just hit stop and hit MIDI capture, and it's more than likely going to have captured that performance. I would also say, or would not really recommend relying on MIDI capture. It's not like a catch-all type thing, especially when you're in the later stages of making a track and you're for sure or certain that you want to have like this part recorded, that you rehearsed in this part. I would just go ahead and just hit record on that track. That way you're can be assured that that performance has been captured. Alright, I think that covers it for the MIDI Capture tool, and I hope you guys learned something that you can incorporate into your workflow. If you have any questions about the MIDI Capture tool or any others, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials, and we'll see you guys next time.